Man guys, do I have a video for you guys today. So I've had this Can-Am for about 2 years now, and I've just recently started doing things to it. You know, I did the windshield, I got the light bars on there. I did those probably over a year ago. Just recently put some door inserts in, and it's starting to come together. We still have a lot of work to do to get this thing ready for some mud. We gotta get some new tires and wheels, possibly do a lift, I'm not sure yet. But today's video is brought to you by RPM Power Sports. They were nice enough to send out a super high quality blow-off valve. This thing is made in the USA, machine billet aluminum, really high quality. You're not gonna find this kind of quality in a Chinese part. Super excited about this because it is supposed to be one of the loudest on the market, and it's definitely one of the highest quality on the market. So this is definitely worth the money. You got the blow-off valve, you have the charge tube, so you're gonna replace the stock one that only goes from the intercooler to the turbo. You're gonna replace it with this one, and it's gonna go from the intercooler to the turbo, and then the blow-off valve is gonna go right here. And you got a couple other parts in here, a filter for the blow-off valve, another spring. This one is supposed to be a little bit quieter, I think, if you don't like the one that's already in here. So you can take this apart, swap out the spring, and you'll have a little bit quieter blow-off valve. And then a little sock filter for the, or whatever this is called, what is this called?
Is that a filter?
I know what it's like. It's a pre-filter for the filter. So you slip it over the filter, and it just keeps more of the dirt out of the filter. So without further ado, let's go ahead. It should be a simple install. Should be less than 10 minutes. Their website says 20, but we'll see what we can do. There's their number right there if you want to go check them out. They have Can-Am parts, Polaris parts, all super high quality and worth the money. So definitely go check them out. So let's go ahead and install it. So the first thing we got to do is take off the old charge pipe and get ready to put this brand new one in. There's a really high quality charge pipe. It feels really good. But we got one screw right here, or one clamp right here. That one's pretty much loose. Should slide off. And then we got one back. We got to get it from around here, connected to the intercooler. This one right over here, which is going to be really hard to get to because of the way that they put the clamp. Man, they put this clamp in the wrong spot, man. After trial and error trying to get this one clamp off, just the way that they set it, the way that the clamp is going is pointed right towards the air cleaner, so you can't really get into it with a screwdriver or, you know, a socket or anything. So we had to go ahead and put an extension, a swivel, and a couple other things just to get this one clamp off. And now we're able to go back into the cab and go from this view right here and take out that charge pipe. Should be fairly straightforward. Take this off of the turbo and pull it down from the intercooler. There it is. There's the old one that we are replacing with this brand new one that gives us room to put a blow-off valve. It's gonna be crazy, guys. The charge pipe is in. It's a perfect fit, and I put the clamps where I can actually take them on and off. Next thing we have to do is take out this torque screw so we can put in our billet aluminum piece right there. We're gonna reuse that same screw. And this is just, I'm not even sure what this is. Probably figure it out, but this is gonna go to the blow-off valve. There's the old piece. Now the billet aluminum piece. And this hose is gonna get snaked up through here, and it comes with some zip ties where you can zip tie it along these pipes right here. Just gonna go up here to the blow off valve. So we were just getting ready to put the blow off valve on. We got that hose ran, got the charge pipe on. Now this is the high quality blow off valve. This is one of the best ones on the market. Had to pick it up. RPM Power Sports, and this thing is gonna sound so dirty, man. So we're gonna go ahead and just put this on here. We got that pre-filter on. That's all it is. We'll go ahead and tighten this clamp up. There it is. And then we'll go ahead and grab that hose that we just put on. So we may need to shorten this hose a little bit, but for video's sake, I'll show you guys real quick. All it is, just gets pressed in right here on the blow-off valve, and you're good to go. All right, the moment you guys have been waiting for and the moment I have been waiting for. This blow-off valve is gonna sound badass. Let's go ahead and start it for the very first time, and it's gonna be really loud inside the shop. Also, if you're not checking out Paradox, he's helped me behind the camera. He built this beautiful shop, and it's still not done. It's about 99% done. We're just touching some stuff up, but definitely go check him out. This is kind of like the first install kind of project in this shop, so it's a really big pleasure to have the Can-Am in here today. But anyway, let's go ahead, hop in the Can-Am, and see if we can get this blow-off valve. What is it? Or something like that. I don't know. Fluttering, yeah. Gonna be loud. The exhaust is gonna be loud. All right, obviously it's not doing it right now because I'm not building any boost. Yeah, so let's go ahead, hop on the road, and go for a drive. Let's go. Man, for my exhaust being how loud it is, my exhaust is just a straight pipe. Literally from the turbo, it's just a straight pipe. There's no muffler, and this blow-off valve is loud. I can hear it over my exhaust. I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but it is loud. But I took this cover off. Let's see how loud it is now. So I'm not happy about this. There's nothing wrong with the blow-off valve. The blow-off valve is working perfectly. It's definitely super loud. You can still hear it over this loud, obnoxious exhaust. And I'm kind of to the point where I want to get away from the loud exhaust. I've had it, you know, for maybe 6 months now. And, you know, every time I drive down this dirt road, go to Caleb's house, you know, I'm probably annoying all the neighbors as I drive past. So I want to get away from the loud exhaust and go back to stock. I can do that right now if I wanted to, but there's only one problem. As you see, there's no Cummins And all my tools are in that rigid toolbox in the back of the Cummins. My original plan being is to take off the exhaust that I have on right now. I kind of rigged it up a little bit so you guys can see how I want to do it. Basically, I'm gonna keep the same exhaust that I have right now. I'm just gonna cut it shorter. I'm gonna put my stock exhaust back on. I have it all ratchet strapped up right now so I can hear what it sounds like. But basically I need the adapter that adapts the muffler to the exhaust. And that's what this was. It was right to the cat. So I'm gonna have to cut this adapter off, cut that exhaust, weld it on, and then clamp the muffler back on. So you guys know how I said I'd be back in a couple days? Well, it's like 2 weeks later and we finally got to fixing this exhaust. So basically what I had to do was this clamp that was holding the exhaust onto the turbo, this bolt was stripped out, so I had to cut it off, and we were just waiting on a clamp from RPM Power Sports. They're the ones that sent out the blow-off valve. So basically what I did was I took the old cat, cut the bracket off of it that was needed to connect to the muffler. We got that welded onto the original pipe that I had, and all we have to do now is plug in this O2 sensor and we're good. So I think everyone in their lifetime, at least for the guys, they always want a loud vehicle, but there's always a point where it just becomes too loud and it's not enjoyable to ride, especially a Can-Am like this when you're driving for a long time. Me and Justin went to just drive around on dirt roads yesterday, and after we got home, man, my ears were ringing. I couldn't stand driving this Can-Am one more day without putting a muffler on it, especially when you drive for 2 hours just on dirt roads, and it gets pretty loud. So we changed up the exhaust, and now we had the muffler back on. I'm gonna love this thing even more because it's gonna be more enjoyable to ride. And now we have the loudest blow-off valve on the market paired with it. So you're definitely gonna hear this blow-off valve now. So let's go ahead and give it the first start up since changing the exhaust and putting the blow-off valve on. I thought I started a Prius right now, man. I could barely even hear the exhaust. That's so much more enjoyable. But then when we go and power brake it and listen to this blow-off valve, you're gonna hear it. That's barely 4,000 RPM because you can't really power brake a Can-Am without defueling. So let's go hit the dirt road and see how it sounds. Man, this thing is so quiet. it's like to have a quiet exhaust, man. Just having a quiet exhaust, I've noticed this with my Cummins. Just with having a quieter exhaust, I feel like this Can-Am is faster. I don't know if it's just me, if it's all just in my head, but man, I was ripping 75 mile an hour back there, and if I did that with a straight pipe, dude, my ears would be shot. This video isn't really about the exhaust modification I made just to put the stock muffler back on. It's more of the blow-off valve, and it's super loud. I haven't really heard any other blow-off valves as loud as this. I'm not sure how it sounds outside of the Can-Am, but inside the Can-Am, it is loud. I don't know if there's any other on the market that is this loud. Some of them just make a little shh. This one's a shh. I don't know, that probably wasn't a good example, but I love this blow-off valve. You guys should go check it out. RPM Power Sports. They were gracious enough to send it out for me to review and throw on the Can-Am. We have one more upgrade for the Can-Am sent out by RPM Power Sports, so be on the lookout for that video. I'm gonna go rip around some more. RPM Power Sports will be linked down below, their blow-off valve and their clamp, their heavy-duty clamp. Amazing, way better than the stock one, and can't thank them enough. So I'll catch you guys later. See you on the flip side. Peace.